the quality of the sweat changes when somebody is in a relaxed state. And you can notice that it's actually notably more, it's thicker, it's oily. It actually has more esters and things coming out of it. You can visibly feel and see and look at the difference. You can actually bring it out, my towel out into a jar and see. I got,
oh wow.
If you wanted to get gross out and see what, it looks like creamy lemonade. It's gross.
Behind the practice.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Behind the Practice. I'm Sean Quintero, your host today, and we have Ryan today. So Ryan, you have such a really interesting way of thinking about like body heat and how that impacts almost everything in our day-to-day. The only experience I have with body heat and my understanding is I know it needs to be 98.6%. Or degrees, sorry. And if it's higher than that, I got a fever. If it's colder than that, we got a problem. Tell me why there's like a deeper meaning behind it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because I'm walking around. I go to these amazing biohacking events, like here at the Boston BioLive conference but nobody seems to be talking about, they're talking about red light, infrared, all these different therapies, but the light that we make is real. So it's like you have this one camp of spiritual people talking about that we're light beings, and we have this very serious medical community over here doing very real deep research into light frequencies, and yet in the middle there's nobody talking about the fact the light that we actually make. Even Gerald Pollack, who discovered the fourth phase of water, structured waters, he called it exclusion zone water, and when he discovered that, even as he noted with that it was infrared light that made that happen. And in his research, even he didn't go beyond 3.5 microns. That's 3,500 nanometers of red light therapy. He didn't go beyond that. When I got the chance to ask him why, he says, "Where am I going to get it?" Because anybody in their dog can go buy, red light bulbs, diodes, LEDs. These things are very easy to acquire. But making something that's higher than that, so people haven't had the chance to actually really play with too much of infrared light therapy in the wavelengths that we make. It's much higher in the spectrum, right? So we actually make, so if we're looking at red light therapy goes from like 400 nanometers up to about 700, around 800 or so, is now we get into near infrared. Now that wavelength gets a little bit longer. Now we're up to, we start calling it a micron. So around 1,000 nanometers, we just call it 1 micron. We go up to 20 microns. That's what we make. That's what thermal cameras make. And so in that range, this is the specialness, is that in this range, we have a wide range of molecules that all bend, stretch, and move based off of these wavelengths. Water, for example, proteins, peptides. How big are peptides right now?
Yeah.
Peptides all have these molecular bonds that move based off of the same resonant wavelengths that our bodies make into itself. And this is what I'm saying. We've been treating body heat like waste, and it's not waste. It's actually doing something on a very real level, on a molecular level, to keep the body moving, to keep water structured. Water, as we know it, bulk water, is toxic in the body. Water in the body is structured water. So what Gerald found was that structured water forms under this infrared light, but he didn't get the chance to study it in this higher range that we make. But yet we know that that's what water is in the body. All water in the body is structured water. If it's not structured water, it's toxic. We're bloated. It's waste. And so we seem to know all these things. We know we're made of water. We know we're made of body heat, but the connection between the infrared that we make and the water that we are, proteins that need to fold correctly, need the right patterns to do that. How many diseases are based off of misfolded proteins? How many booths at these events are based off of helping people to have correctly folded proteins?
Yeah.
And yet nobody's talking about the infrared that we make helps proteins to fold correctly.
So like when the everyday person who is, not familiar with the science and also maybe not familiar with the spiritual side of light, they just know I have pain or I have I have a problem I need solved. What is the real benefit to them?
So the real benefit to you is this. This is what I'm unpacking here, because I know that was a mouthful.
Yep.
We can almost start over if you wanted to.
No, I think it's great. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm obviously a little passionate about this. The benefit is this. This is revealing the reason why exercise is good. Why is dancing good? Why is moving and walking and animals and being in nature good? Why is sunlight good? Why is anything that gets us flowing good? Because it gets us creating more of that infrared. when we get sick, we get a fever. So as we started off saying that the body fights really hard to keep us in a very specific range. Too cold, it's going to bump itself up. Get too hot, it's going to work to get itself here to operate in that optimal range, except for when we get ill. What does it do? It gives itself a fever to generate more of this infrared, but not more of that infrared from a place like where you go and exercise. Because when you're exercising and you're moving, your nervous system isn't in a calm state.
Yeah.
And because you're not in that calm, relaxed state, your body can't go into detox mode. It's in that beta brainwave. It's in that performance go mode. If you go sit in a high heat sauna, if your body's basically experiencing a thermal stress response, which is amazing. I love a good high heat sauna. But to your body, it's a stress response. It's a hormesis event. It's a hormetic event. And so your body's not going into detox mode. Will you get some detox? Sure.
Yeah.
But the body isn't saying, hey, it's time to go into detox mode. That's what happens when we have a fever. The body's going to a relaxed state and it raises this luminescence. The combination of that changes the quality of the sweat. So this is one of the areas that I'm doing research with. Thanks to Relax Saunas, who does fund my research. Thank you guys. The quality of the sweat changes when somebody is in a relaxed state. And then you can notice that it's actually notably more, it's thicker, it's oily. It actually has more esters and things coming out of it. You can visibly feel and see and look at the difference. You can actually wring it out, my towel out into a jar and see. I got if you wanted to get gross out and see what, it looks like creamy lemonade. It's gross. But the body wraps toxins in fat. It binds nutrients and toxins in these fats. And so if your sweat isn't fatty sweat, it's not really detox. Not that it is not having some detox effect. And all saunas are good. And so that's what I'm saying is that I'm actually simultaneously saying that this is why all saunas are good. All these things are good. And now we can understand why hugging is good, why cuddling is good, human connection is good. All these things matter. But also at the same time, now the science of a fever is actually kind of really being illuminated because pathogens, bacteria, not only do this band of infrared helpful for us, it's harmful to them. And so when you're in this relaxed state, you can do that. Your body's going into that purge mode. That's what the fever is. And the human connection element, I do believe, is real. And I think this is one of the reasons why, if I could change the medical landscape, if we could even just create rooms that had more reflectivity of this infrared, you wouldn't change the heat profile in the room that much, but the person would get more of this light. So that's one way that, again, thanks to the research, I realized I'm working on a nonprofit that can create low-cost ways of creating reflectivity in rooms and prisons and hospice and places like that, where without anything but just them being in the room itself, they're going to get that reflectivity coming back into them. Because their little tent has actually covered in like silver zirconium. And it turns out silver is reflective of this infrared the same way that mirrors are reflective of visible light.
Interesting.
So it creates like this little cocoon effect. And so it creates like a bath effect. And that's why it's like getting like this extra like deeper level of like relaxation and safety immediately, because you're not getting infrared hit at you from like different panels, like a shower with multiple shower heads. It's laying in a bath, and laying in a bath is radically different. It feels different laying in a bath than that, and that feeling of safety is again part of that, and that's why it's the only sauna that is used in oncology. The oncologists use it's the only because everything can get your core up, but it's not going to get your core up in a relaxed state. And that's the difference between heat response, which is helpful, versus something that's actually truly therapeutic and medical for hyperthermia as a medical treatment themselves. So that's one of the things that's different about it. And again, at the same time, we do it from deep medical treatment, but we also have it in schools. I put this in schools and lots of restaurants and waiting rooms. I mean, you don't see a sauna in.
You mentioned you're really passionate about it. Where does that come from for you?
For me, long healing journey. Long healing journey. It's really, for the longest time growing up, I felt like I was in, everyone else is on some inside joke that I didn't understand. And then as I grew up, I realized nobody knew what was going on here either. I wasn't alone. And that was terrifying. It's called depressive realism. It's actually something people can be diagnosed with. It's like you smart enough to know how reality works, and it's depressing. Because because nobody's in charge. Nobody knows what's going
Yeah.
on. It's all chaos out here. And so I lived on the streets for years. I had Sudden's disease type 2, went through Epstein-Barr, went through mono, went through a lot of different things, and came out of that. And along the way, what I realized is that what's the point of healing but to get back to play? And what if play is actually how we heal? So many people, I stayed so long in this healing journey, healing the autoimmune, thousands of dislocations, bone grafts, hernia meshes put in. I mean, just the amount of things that I've gone through to put my body back together and to learn and to love my body even when it's falling apart, to love my brain even when it's tearing me apart, to build that relationship of love. There was a lot of darkness there, and coming out of that into the light, so to speak, learning how to cleanse the garbage out of my body. It's really hard to do the right thing when you don't feel well.
Yeah.
Really hard. And even if you do, you end up don't necessarily do it the right way, and you end up making things worse a lot of times. The true opposite is true. When you feel well, it's really easy to just be a little more elegantly do the right natural thing and have fun and play with things. And so what I realized through that healing journey, that again, what's the point of healing but to get back to play? But what if play is how we heal? And there's so many people like me that were stuck in the dark part of the healing journey. That's like, man, I can't wait to get back to play. I can't wait to get back to life, man. Once I'm here, man, then I'm gonna do this. And that actually kind of kept me a lot sicker than I realized. And it's not our fault though. So while it may not be our fault, it is in our power to change so much. And it really does begin with having that relationship with yourself, with your food, with play and play with these things. So as opposed to seeing it as a deep protocol, something you have to follow. Because I was a behavioral scientist for a long time, and I did a lot with client compliance. And it's a shame how compliance is through the roof is so low, even for life-saving conditions. But if I get people back to just playing with it, you're just playing with red light. It's just this, it's just that, it's just PIMF, it's just hyperbarics, it's just that, about 7 miles from here, we've got 12,000 square feet with about $3 million of healing tech here in Scottsdale, Arizona, the most advanced collection of healing technologies amassed here, probably in the West Coast. But we do it under this auspice of other places will edify a technology and say, man, this is the most amazing thing. This is going to change your life. And I realize as a behavioral scientist, that can be beneficial, but it can actually shut people down. So we have all this tech, and what's that? It's just pimp. It's just rife. It's just compression. It's just pulsed laser. It's just cold laser. What's that? It's just thermography.
Yeah.
It's just this. Now we're free to play and actually start enjoying these things and join as a community. That's why I'm passionate about it. That's why I'm here, because what's the point of being your own boss if your life's going to suck? You're the only one to blame. What's the point of this healing journey if we're gonna just stay stuck in the misery of of it? And let's just get back to play. People ask me, it's like, what's with the ukulele? It's like, well, why not with the ukulele?
Yeah, I love it. That is amazing. As a musician, I am always appreciative of any musician that's playing, but that's amazing. And what an incredible journey to go from recognizing how important it is to have accountability and responsibility, maybe not over what happened to us, but what we do with that. And I just appreciate you for sharing your story and sharing your journey, as well as sharing this incredible insight around light and connection and the impact that it can have on all of our everyday environments. It's been pretty incredible. So I'll give you final word, 30 seconds. What's the lesson you want to last in the person who's watching this? You want it to last in their mind.
Okay. So, quick mouthful. You might want to rewind this. DNA is a fractal antenna, meaning the antenna in your phone picks up a wide range of frequencies. Turns out DNA, Google this, DNA is a fractal antenna. Sitting here, your DNA is literally picking up on the infrared light that my body's emitting. It's resonating in your DNA and coming back. Insects' antennas are also shaped like a fractal antenna. So insects can literally pick up on, have you ever noticed a plant that gets eaten in a garden that the other one's not getting eaten? It's because that plant's infrared emissions, its own light, fluctuated. The insect's antenna could pick up on that light and guide it to that one, saying, this is the one that I want to go to. So if our emissions get weak, are we signaling to the world that we're prey? Or are we signaling to the world that, you see what I'm saying? The quality of the light that you're emitting actually matters. You have the power to heal. You have the power to track sickness. You have the power to track harm. You have the power. It's no actual joke. This is real. And the more that you detox, the more that you cleanse, the more that you work with your own body, the more that you do this work in this healing journey, we're just really building a relationship with yourself. And that's where the magic is. And get a sauna. Check out the Relax sauna. Obviously, it's my favorite because it's the only one making the light that we make. And I do owe them a lot. Relaxsaunas.com. And if you do buy one on the back end, you get access to me nearly every Tuesday. I go live with their users. It's part of my research contract with them, is that I go live and I teach deep on the principles, answer questions, and work with doctors, practitioners on how to implement it. And so, so
that's amazing. I love it.
To be here.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for watching. This has been Behind the Practice. I'm Sean Quintero, and we'll see you in the next episode. Behind the Practice is produced by Next Step Social and Podcasting and hosted by Katie Brinkley and Sean Quintero. A special thank you to our guests today. This episode was recorded live at the Boston BioLife Functional Longevity Summit. A special thank you to the team that helped make this podcast happen.